Deity is by far the hardest difficulty in any Civilization game, and Civilization 6 is no different. For most people, Deity can seem like a daunting task that requires so much mental energy just to complete a game, let alone win one, but I am here to tell you that doesn't have to be the case. I am going to be coming out with a series of guides that'll help you beat Deity with any civilization. Yes, that includes Georgia and England. And I am starting it off with the strongest civilization in the game, at least in my opinion, Gran Colombia. Now, Gran Colombia is an extremely strong domination civ. They have massive boosts to both movement and combat strength that allows them to quickly sweep through the map with their army of cavalry units and win the game by the classical era. How are we going to do this? I am about to show you in the first guide of how to Deity. Starting off, first things first, we have Simon Bolivar. His unique ability, entering a new era, grants a Comandante General, which is a unique type of great person. Now, let's look at the Comandante Generals. On the screen, I will have every single Comandante General, which is about 10, and all their unique, popped, unique abilities. Keep in mind that Comandante Generals also give +5 combat strength to military units as a passive bonus, which is exactly like a Great General. However, they don't give the movement speed bonus anymore because it was absolutely unfair to play against. After that, we have Gran Colombia's unique ability, which is +1 movement speed for all units, and promoting a unit does not end that unit's turn. This ability makes Gran Colombia the most mobile civilization in the entire game, allowing them to settle cities very quickly, allowing them to evade barbarians with both their scouts and their settlers and builders, and allows you to blitz through enemy civilizations like it's nobody's business. Promoting a unit does not end that unit's turn, allows you to just keep pressing the attack with a unit that might seem like it's almost dead, but one quick promotion, a pillage, and it is at full health and ready to continue fighting. After that, we have their unique unit, which is the Lanero. The Lanero is a cavalry replacement unlocked by the military science technology, requiring 20 horses and 2 gold maintenance versus the 5 gold maintenance most cavalry units have. It gets 2 combat strength for each adjacent Lanero unit, and when you pop a Comandante General, you will regain all HP when the general is popped, which is why you want to save these Comandante Generals until you have Laneros, and then use them so you can continue attacking without taking any sort of damage, without losing any units, without losing any momentum, and you could win a domination victory with Laneros and Comandante Generals in less than 30 to 40 turns if you have enough of them. And finally, we have the Haciendas, which are the unique tile improvement that is so underrated. It gives 2 gold, 1 production, 0.5 housing. It gets food from every 2 plantations. It gives 1 food to each adjacent plantation. And it also gets production for adjacent Haciendas and gives production to plantations for every Hacienda. This gives you so much food, production, housing, gold, everything you would want in a domination victory, and allows you to get some bonuses towards a science and culture victory, as the production helps you build both wonders and spaceports, not to mention the unique Mars moon landing and space satellite thing that you need for science victories. The housing and food allows you to grow up faster, which gives you more of every yield, which is good for every victory type. Now, first things first, we are going to look at the strengths and weaknesses of Gran Colombia. They are extremely high speed, extremely high combat strength, allowing them to blitz through any sort of map at will. The one downside to that would be that they don't have any loyalty bonuses, so if you're not fast enough with your domination, you will lose all cities you gain unless you're in a golden age. Now, Haciendas are an underrated strength of Gran Colombia as well, because they give you just so much of everything, especially if you stack them together with plantations and adjacent to other Haciendas. These end up being one of the best tile improvements in the game. Their last weakness is they have no real direct science boost, I guess. I mean, I'm just grasping at straws here. There is nothing else that the Civ is weak with. I don't even know if this is a real weakness. It's just that you're going to get units a lot slower than you would with a science civ like Korea or Mayans. And if you're going for a science victory, you obviously have no direct bonus towards that. But considering you're going to be taking out 2 civs early on in the game anyways, it really does not matter. Speaking of which, let's see how strong the civ is on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the weakest, 10 being the best civ in the game, and you already know Gran Colombia is 10 out of 10, and I will explain why. Looking at domination victories, they are again 10 out of 10 because they have so many bonuses, so much movement speed, so much combat strength that it is just impossible to play against them, and it is impossible to lose with them even on deity difficulty when you have enough horsemen. For science, I will give them a 7 out of 10. They have the haciendas, which will help, but it's mainly because you will be taking out so many civs early on into the game so easily that you will be able to build campuses in every city and just skyrocket your science production. Ditto goes for culture, but culture is only at 5 out of 10 because you're really not going to be focusing on culture in the early conquest. Early on, you are going to be building campuses so you can beeline Lineros, but you don't really need culture aside from a few key civics early on into the game. And for religion, I'll give them a 1 out of 10. They have no bonuses towards religion, nothing that would help with a religious victory, so 1 out of 10 means just they have nothing going for them. But looking at how dominant they are with science and domination, I think it's safe to say they are the best civilization in the entire game, and I will give them a 10 out of 10. How do you play this civilization? Well, early on, the first thing you will want to do is to rush horseback riding into bronze working. Why? It's extremely simple. You will get horseback riding to get your horse units, and then you will get iron working to get encampments, which will allow you to get great generals, which will stack nicely with Comandante generals, giving all your units plus 10 combat strength and an extra movement speed on top of your civilization ability, which already gives 1 movement speed to every single unit. Secondly, for civics, you will want to rush military training to allow you to build cavalry faster with the maneuver policy, go state workforce to get the lower maintenance cost for all units, as building a lot of these horsemen can and will run your treasury dry. After that, you will want to beeline political philosophy in order to get oligarchy, which will give you 20% experience boost to every single unit. After that, you will go into recorded history to get the double campus adjacency boost, which will give you more science and allow you to beeline Lineros and bombards that much quicker. Early on, you will want to get your Comandante generals, your great generals, and your horsemen up and running. After you get all 3 of those together, you will want to go for the first civilization. In what should be about the classical era, you will want to blitz them and then move on to another civilization and potentially a 3rd civilization by the time your horsemen become obsolete. Don't forget, with 10 combat strength, horsemen will have 46 combat strength, making them almost as strong as knights who have 48 combat strength. You will want to build 1 to 2 armies. Each army should have 2 to 3 horsemen, 1 to 2 archers. Warriors are really irrelevant. I usually use warriors as scouts early on in the game as they have as much movement speed as scouts, but they can defend themselves much better and take out encampments much quicker. After that, you will begin placing campuses everywhere after you have your 1 to 2 armies and have begun taking out enemy civilizations. Campuses will allow you to beeline techs faster, and beelining Lineros by the time the medieval era is around means you will have massive advantages combat-wise against other civilizations who will have knights and crossbows still. Again, save your Comandante generals. You want to use them with your Linero unique unit as sort of a nice synergy mix, allowing you to keep attacking without spending any time to heal. Now, for the mid-game, you will want to take a break and focus on getting your science and gold reserves up. You will use your early horsemen to scout. Because they have 5 movement speed, they can move around the map much faster than anybody else. And you will want to scout the remaining civilizations you need to take out for a domination victory. Look for choke points, look for different cities where they're positioned, and how you can take them out in the most efficient way possible. You will want to build Haciendas after you get the Mercantilism Civic, which is what you should beeline after getting recorded history. Build Haciendas near plantations so you can get massive gold, food, production. Just like we talked about on the ability rundown, these unique improvements are underrated. For techs, you will want to beeline Lineros into Bombards. You will upgrade all your horsemen into Lineros. Don't forget to get the Mercenary Civic that'll allow you to upgrade these Lineros for cheap, because there is a policy in there that allows you to upgrade them for 50% less gold than usual. After that, you will want to get Bombards, beeline Bombards, make sure you have a nice niter source and enough money set up so you can buy 1 to 2 Bombards, put one in each army, and watch the walls melt. You will want to get Bombards after Lineros because most of the time, Lineros are strong enough to take cities even with walls, even without Bombards. Now for the late game. You will have Lineros with great generals, with Comandante generals, putting their combat strength at 72 combat strength. They have 62 base combat strength. Not to mention for the Linero, each adjacent Linero will give you 2 extra combat strength, so most of the times you're going to have 2 adjacent Lineros, which adds up to 76 combat strength, potentially 78 with 3 adjacent Lineros. Helicopters have 82 combat strength. So if you beeline these units fast enough, you will essentially have helicopters just as fast as regular helicopters, as they will have 6 movement speed against civs that still run crossbows and knights. And yeah, we all know what helicopters would do against knights. You will want to take fascism to finish off a domination victory, or if you just want to go communism for a science victory, that is okay too. Science is nice, but you definitely want to focus on domination, especially considering you will have such a massive advantage. Again, you will use your generals in conjugation. Is that right? Probably not. You will want to use your Lineros along with your Comandante generals. You will take out cities with your Lineros extremely fast, take out units, and whenever it seems like a few of your units are getting low, pop a Comandante general, get its unique bonus along with the full heal that all Lineros have, and you will use it to press the attack so that loyalty will not be an issue when you take out the entire civilization in 4 to 5 turns. The late civics, you just get what you need, honestly. If you need amenities, you will get the amenity civics. If you need to upgrade units, you will keep the upgrade bonus, and maybe even resource discounts if you're upgrading to tanks or helicopters, for example. It's too late into the game to really tell you specifically what civics to go for. The only thing I can tell you is to go fascism and just kill everybody. Now that you know how to beat Deity with Gran Colombia, let's look into some pitfalls you will want to avoid just in case this guide isn't enough. First things first, you will always want to beeline horseback riding and nothing else. I see so many people going for, irrigation maybe, maybe you want to go mining to get some production, chop some... No, you want to beeline horseback riding because on Deity, everybody is going to get crossbows and pikemen faster than usual. And if you beeline horsemen, you will be able to blitz civilizations before they can come up with an appropriate defense. Another pitfall to avoid, don't work on your infrastructure early game. Just don't. It doesn't matter if Gilgamesh is at 60 science and you're only at 5. Build horsemen, take out Gilgamesh, finish your armies, and then you could focus on increasing your science and culture. Just because the AI has 100 science and you have 20 doesn't mean that they are 5 times ahead of you on the tech tree. Don't worry about it. You can easily take them out with horsemen, even if they have crossbows. Just be careful. That's all you got to do. And the next thing to avoid is to scout early on and then scout with your horses. Domination victories are reliant on speed, combat strength, and vision. You want to know where the enemy capital is. You don't want to just go trudging along into the fog of war, running into a city with walls, 60 combat strength, and 3 crossbows defending it. That is how you lose units, that is how you die, and that is how you get absolutely destroyed on Deity difficulty. Scout early, scout often, scout with your extra movement speed. Finally, the last pitfall to avoid is not building haciendas. I just don't know why. They give you so much value out of a unique infrastructure. You will want to build these everywhere you can. Build these so that you can produce things much faster. You get more food, you get more housing, you get more gold, you get more of everything you need. Build haciendas. Now, how are you going to counter Gran Colombia? Maybe you're up against them in a single-player game. Maybe you're up against them in a multiplayer game even. They didn't get banned for some reason. There are 2 civilizations that do an outstanding job of taking out Gran Colombia. Number one being Scythia. Why Scythia? For two reasons. Number one, they can build 2 horsemen for every horseman that Gran Colombia can build, which is a massive advantage. Number two, they heal after taking out a unit, which means that not only do you have more units, you have units that heal better. It is just that simple. Gran Colombia is absolutely destroyed by Scythia, especially if Scythia is ending up with a great general early on into the game that allows them to, at the very least, counter Comandante generals that Gran Colombia will have. And hey, movement speed will be at +5 for horsemen then, which almost makes them as fast as Gran Colombia's horsemen, who are at 6 movement speed. So Scythia into Gran Colombia is an easy win every time. The other civilization doesn't do as good a job, but they still do a pretty good job, Mongolia. Not only do you get combat strength bonuses with diplomatic visibility, you are able to steal their units with your horseman units. You can steal enemy cavalry units, and that is who Simon Bolivar is going to be building the most. So not only are you killing their units, you are also increasing your own army strength. So Mongolia is, again, not as strong as Scythia at countering Gran Colombia, but they still do a very good job. I will be posting my playthrough on Gran Colombia that I did a few months ago on Deity down in the comments below, just in case you want a specific turn-after-turn guide on how to beat Deity as Gran Colombia in record time. That'll be the conclusion of my Civ guide on how to beat Deity with Gran Colombia and how to counter them and all the pitfalls you should avoid. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I will be coming out with more guides on Deity, more guides on how to play different civilizations, how to optimize different civilizations. And yeah, I'd really appreciate it if you could help me out and hit that big red subscribe button. And I will see you all in the next video.